which is that this was a project of the Democratic Party to create white supremacy because Andrew Jackson stole that land, he gave it to settlers in exchange for their votes. He sold it at bargain basement prices. And so white supremacy becomes the foundational ideology of the Democratic Party, not just with regard to blacks, but also with regard to American Indians. So no, this is not a bipartisan issue. This is not an American tragedy. Remember, we fought a big civil war over issues like this. One bunch of Americans did really bad things, another bunch of Americans, otherwise called Republicans, stopped them.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here with a new video. Today, we're going to be checking out SUSA spars with students over white privilege. Okay, I would love to check the video out with you guys. You know how to do it, guys. Let's go right to this video.
So you were talking about the evolution of the term white supremacy, racism, all of those ideas, but the fact is white supremacy is not new. The conservative values that you and many here wish to uphold, y'all kind of ignore the fact that this country was founded on the genocide of Native Indigenous peoples who were called primitive savages and murdered, massacred. Racism and white supremacy is not a bipartisan issue. It's an American issue and one which we must all come to terms with. But if the American dream, which you were talking about, is that anyone can do anything and be anything that they want, how can we support this kind of fanciful idea when the reality is that Native peoples and so many other marginalized groups, through systemic economic barriers partly caused by the environment of our founding, are left behind from that dream?
The question is, I'll rephrase it. The question is, isn't it true that America was contaminated by white supremacy from the very beginning, and that the genocidal acts of white supremacy, like the displacement, relocation, and massacre of the Native Indians, is an American crime and not a partisan crime? Let me answer it this way. First of all, who were the people who took the American Indians off their ancestral lands, drove them further west, enslaved the ones who stayed, killed the ones who resisted? The answer, the Jacksonian Democrats of the 19th century. They did it. Now, what is the proof of this? This is very interesting. The proof of this, weirdly enough, is Hitler himself. When Hitler was sitting in Landsberg prison, Hitler had a problem, and the problem was that he wanted Germany to be a superpower in the way that Britain and France were, the superpowers of Europe. And Hitler was thinking, we have to do this through colonialism, because that's how the British and the French became powerful. The British run India, they run half of Africa, the French have colonies all over the world. Hitler thought, Germany needs to do that. But he realized, but there's nothing left to take. All the real estate on the planet has been sort of occupied. So how can Germany become a great power? And then Hitler realized Andrew Jackson figured out how to do that in the United States. His formula was really simple. Drive the Indians off their land, kill the ones who resist, enslave the ones who remained. In other words, Jackson didn't have to leave his neighborhood. He performed genocide and colonialism right at home. And Hitler said, I got to do that. I got to take a page from the Jacksonian Democrats. I don't need to go hunting for India or Africa. I'm going to take the Poles, the Slavs, the Eastern Europeans, the Russians. I'm going to throw them off their land. If they resist, I'll kill them. If they stay back, I'll enslave them. I want every German to live on a farm. This is Adolf Hitler, taking a page from the book of the Jacksonian Democrats of the 19th century. Now, this has been exposed very recently by the historian Timothy Snyder and others. But here's again, Hitler knows something that your textbooks have evidently not taught you, which is that this was a project of the Democratic Party to create white supremacy because Andrew Jackson stole that land, he gave it to settlers in exchange for their votes. He sold it at bargain basement prices. And so white supremacy becomes the foundational ideology of the Democratic Party, not just with regard to blacks, but also with regard to American Indians. So no, this is not a bipartisan issue. This is not an American tragedy. Remember, we fought a big civil war over issues like this. One bunch of Americans did really bad things, another bunch of Americans, otherwise called Republicans, stopped them. So
this was actually amazing. I said, this student right there who came out, so should I call you students? Or the young lady who came out right there, she basically do not have an equation, and Spars have to bring out a equation for her from what she said. And what she's trying to say is that talking about white privilege. The funny thing is that this woman right here, she's a liberal. I'm very, very certain she's a liberal, and she will be probably a Democrat. And the white privilege she's talking about as an American problem was actually propagated by the Democrats. You understand? That's when it started from. Even Hitler had to take lessons from the Democrats' book. It's as funny as that Hitler had to take lessons and copy the same strategy and use it. You understand? Which is really, really terrible. Because this white privilege of a thing is, Charlie have said this countless number of times, that this white privilege of a thing is a Democrat's propaganda to spread terrible agendas in America, to bring disunity among Americans. You understand? So, and whenever they bring out white privilege, they mostly call out the black. The black people right now are seeing themselves as a victim. They are still under the shield of Democrats. And Democrats are still using their head. And black people are still not aware that Democrats are actually using them. Do you understand? So, if I'm to say, is that there is no goddamn thing as white privilege. White privilege do not exist. It's actually a myth. And if you think it exists, that is your own goddamn business. White privilege do not exist. And I love this conservative. I love this man. He's really, this spouse is really knowledgeable. And a lot of historians have proven fact that the white privilege of a thing that they're all talking about started from Democrat Party. Do you understand? So they are the ones who are propagating or promoting this agenda that white privilege actually existed, that the black people have lost 150 something years of their life. Do you understand? And there are things that white people get away with that black people cannot get away with, which is not true. What a white man can do in America today, a black man can also do the same. The highest post in America is a president, which Barack Obama have actually become, who is a black man, like my skin, have actually become the president. So there's literally nothing in America in our century that a white man can do that a black man can do. So it's obvious that this white privilege of a thing was actually like, I call it a scam, or it's a propaganda to deceive people. You understand? This lady right here, she's actually been brainwashed. I think she has to go to Charlie's tour, one of Charlie's brainwashed tour, for her to have pure clarity, because she's speaking out of the place of ignorance, if you ask me. And I love how this how Spars, this conservative, dismantled her. It's really, really, really amazing. Comment down below about this video, give us a thumbs up, share this video to as many as you can, subscribe to the channel, guys. You know how it is. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.